of St. Louis, Bally Sports Midwest, the heart of the fan.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And the road trip continues tonight in Miami. After a win in Game 1 of the series, the Cardinals are 2-2. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Miami Marlins. And welcome to our Bally Studios here in St. Louis. The Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And we're preaching patience tonight, especially in that Cardinal lineup.
Yeah, they're going to need some patience, especially around the zone. They have been doing a really nice job of it so far. As you can see right here, pitches per plate appearance. And when you do that, you work walks, you get better pitches to hit. At the bottom of the screen right there, you can see why. They're averaging now 5.5 runs a game. And they're going to need that tonight because why, Danny?
You got one of the game's best in Sandy Alcantara. He's an all-star former Cardinal. He was traded for Marcell Ozuna. This guy is nasty.
I was going to say, and this guy is flat out nasty. He's got everything. Upper 90s, changeup, slider. He is going to battle. You can see what he did opening day. I'm telling you right now, this guy could be the future of this league on the mound.
It's a pair of right-handers. John Gant back in the Cardinals rotation and his first start of 2021. Tonight, and that's John Gant back in the Cardinals rotation.
Yeah, this is where he wants to be. He wants to be a starter, so what? Tonight is the night you're going to have to go out there and prove that because they need some starting pitching. And right now is the time to really step up and show them that you can do it.
It's his season debut. It's game number 2 of this series. The Cardinals and Marlins coming up on Bally Sports. Bally Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Well, the Cardinals continue their season-opening 6-game road trip. Second game of a 3-game series with Miami. The newly named Lone Depot Park. The Cardinals are 2-2. The roof is open. The paneling is open beyond the left field wall. And it's 72 degrees down in Miami. And with Jim Edmonds, Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. We're at the studios of Bally Sports here in St. Louis. New wrinkle for Mike Schilt in his lineup here in Game 5. Tommy Edman at the top, then Goldschmidt, Arenado, DeYoung, and then Carpenter. He's at second base. Molina, O'Neill, Carlson, and the pitcher Gant. The Cardinals will face a former All-Star back in 2019 and a former Cardinal, and that's Sandy Alcantara.
I mean, his numbers don't really show it all the time, but this guy is going to be and is one of the better pitchers in this league stuff-wise. Now, whether he can put it together or not, as you see the Hyundai pitch arsenal, a lot of fastballs, mostly 4 and 2. But the slider and the changeup, when he throws them, they're devastating. Why? Because he throws in the upper 90s, and he does have a pretty good sinker.
Last season, Don Mattingly guided the Marlins to their first postseason since 2003. They swept the Cubs and then were swept by Atlanta, the reigning manager of the year in the National League. So I mentioned a new wrinkle in the lineup, and that means Matt Carpenter batting 5th tonight and playing second base. What do you think?
Well, you got to get him in the lineup if you want him to contribute at any point in time during the season. If I'm Matt Carpenter, this wouldn't be the guy I'd like to face for my first game, but so be it. And this is what you're getting paid for. So time to get out there and step it up, and hopefully he can be something to work with in this lineup because they've been doing pretty good job. It's just another piece in that puzzle. Maybe take some pitches, work the count, but these guys have been clicking so far, so hopefully he can jump right in.
The Cardinals this season have scored 22 runs in their 4 games. 9 have come in the first inning. And they'd love to continue that trend tonight. So the switch hitter Tommy Edman popped his first home run of the season last night. Shift on the right side. Ball 1, and we're underway. He's not Max Scherzer. He's not Jacob deGrom, but he is one of the better pitchers in the NL East and the ace of the staff of Miami. Second straight opening day start, and the only Marlins All-Star in 2019. There's a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Don Mattingly would say every 5th day he has to trust how good he is, be more aggressive, attack, and that's what has changed with Alcantara, trusting his stuff. Hear that all the time.
Well, I think that's what is basic for every good young pitcher, and they learn that whether they takes them a while or not. Usually another veteran on your team can help you with that. There's not a whole lot of veterans on this team that they've ever been able to rely on here in Miami, so hopefully coaching staff, some of the guys been around the league, can instill that in you. But I don't mean, other than coaching staff, you know, as far as like veteran leadership, I think basically you're out on an island right now if you're the best of the best in Miami.
And they have mentioned that even though he's young, he is the leader of their staff.
Well, I mean, you just see that sinker right there at 99, and it doesn't look like he's making any effort at all.
So the count runs full. 6 pitch at bat and counting here for Tommy Edman. And a ground ball slowly hit to the right side, race to the bag, and safe at first is Edman.
Take a look right here. This is Tommy hustling all the way. And you know what? This is literally just not paying attention to detail right there. And that is what separates good young pitchers from great young pitchers right there. He just whips this ball right here. He's on the bag. No reason to miss. Put the glove up in his face. The ball's got to be caught, and that play's got to be made.
And now the number 2 hitter, Paul Goldschmidt. 375 the average. No home runs, and he is driven in 1. And Goldie hits a high fly ball down the right field line. Duvall over, makes the catch. Nice play near the sidewall and the screen there. The Marlins defensively, Dickerson in left, Marte in center, Duvall in right. Anderson, Rojas, Chisholm, Cooper along the infield, and Jorge Alfaro is behind the plate. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. There's Nolan Arenado. 412 the average, 1 home run that was hit in Cincinnati, and he is driven in 3. Pre-game show mentioned that the All-Star game this year will be held in Denver, Coors Field, and you could have the return of Nolan Arenado to Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. We'll see. First pitch, a ball. The capacity is 27% at the ballpark. It's been Joe Robbie Stadium, Pro Player Park, Pro Player Stadium, Dolphin Stadium, then Dolphin Stadium, Landshark Stadium, Sun Life Stadium, Marlins Park, and now Lone Depot Park.
Are you making that up?
No, I'm being serious. 9 different names. I thought you'd get a kick out of it.
I did, actually. You got my attention when you said Joe Robbie, and that's all I could remember.
You could guarantee when you were playing at that ballpark, and this has a roof, it's retractable, but you could guarantee a rain delay.
Oh, for sure. Out of 3 days?
Absolutely.
Either that or you could guarantee you were going to melt in the
Yes.
in the summertime.
It was hot.
We played 20 innings one time there in the summer in the middle of the day.
I remember. I think that was in
I had the day off.
2 or 3. Wasn't Vina got the game-winning hit?
I had the day off and I played 10 innings.
Nice day off.
Yeah.
The 2-1 pitch to Nolan Arenado. Now time is called. This is located in Little Havana. As Derek Jeter and his group are trying to get fans back in the ballpark in interest with the Marlins.
How are you going to do that?
It's going to be tough. You got to win. But even when they've won, they've dismantled teams. So tough to keep your fan base.
Almost seems like there's a little bit more to do down there in South Beach than just maybe come watch a team play baseball.
Yeah.
Really good pitch right here, right on the edge. Pitcher's pitch.
2-2 the count on Arenado. Runner goes, swung on and missed, throw to second, and a stolen base for Tommy Edman. So strikeout of Nolan Arenado.
I don't know if I like that or not. I don't know how Nolan feels about that, but hate to distract him a little bit. And you can see right there that ball's up. Didn't sound like he was too pleased as he was running away, and it seemed like he changed his approach at the last second. Tommy might have startled him, but you can see that he basically just tried to chip one into right field. It's always a fine line of when to run and when not to run when you have your horses up there.
I think, though, with this Cardinal offense, there's going to be times you're going to have to run and generate offense.
Yeah, I just think that maybe if you're going to run, you're going to run early in the count. When your boys are up there, I don't like to run with 2 strikes. Some guys don't mind it. Some guys don't like it at all, but could definitely see he changed his approach right there.
In the air, right side, and out of play. Just over the Redbird dugout. Take a look at Jim Edmonds' Toyota key to the game.
Well, we were talking about patience early on in the open, and that is all great. But when you have a guy like this, you're going to have to be aggressive in the strike zone. You do not want to get to his secondary pitches. So I'm saying if you have a good eye on him and he's not throwing strikes, then you be patient. If he's coming out there and he's pumping first pitch fastball strikes, I'm going back to the dugout and I'm saying, hey, everyone, let's get ready to hack first pitch and let's get after it. And they did that on opening day against the Reds. And this is a similar guy. He's got a little bit better stuff, a little bit more stuff, not as good as a changeup, but more velocity, more run, better slider. So same approach, right? Get a fastball you can hit and get after it.
Shift left side for DeYoung. He's got 2 home runs, both coming on Saturday. And hits it out of play.
His one only real weakness is, especially to right-handers, he does not throw a lot of breaking balls for strikes. They're about 50%, which still, they don't have to always be strikes, because if that's in the back of your mind half the time, you don't want to try to worry about stuff like that, but it's just trying to keep you off balance. But that fastball is going to be his key.
Initially, by the way, it was ruled a hit for Tommy Edman. They have turned that now into an error on Sandy Alcantara. Tommy at second base. Cardinals looking to strike first in this opening frame. It was the first Cardinals stolen base of the year. Did have an attempt over the weekend by Tyler O'Neill, and he was caught stealing. Had it, but then slid off the bag. Matter of fact, I think it was last night, actually.
Yeah, we should get some tacos or some donuts or something, right, for that first stolen base of the year.
Got to get something.
Krispy Kreme. Where are you? I used to bring those to the stadium every now and then. Ted Drew's Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, we used to have Wednesdays at home would be Ted Drew's in the booth.
And if you weren't up there when it got brought in, you were getting peanuts at the end of the day.
You're out of luck.
Yeah, unless you had somebody wait for it and bring it down to you.
That's right.
All of a sudden there was like 10 or 12 people in the booth, and you didn't know where they came from.
We were very popular on Wednesdays. DeYoung out to center, but Marte is there, and sliding behind him was Corey Dickerson. John Gant in the rotation, and away we go. John Gant made his major league debut. Scoreless inning of relief against the Nationals. He was a member of the Atlanta Braves. After that, it was against St. Louis. Gave up a couple of home runs to Greg Garcia and Steven Piscotty. And now he's in the rotation for St. Louis in the Hyundai pitch arsenal.
Yeah, you take a look at the 4-seamer he can throw, the 2-seamer he likes to throw. That can be in the mid-90s. Slider every now and then, a big curveball every now and then, but the changeup is his pitch. So establish that fastball, work off of that, The changeup is more his pitch to get guys out. The curveball's for show. Got really good stuff. I'd like to see him be really aggressive tonight in the strike zone and have a good game.
Dickerson, Marte, and Cooper. Then Duvall, Anderson, Chisholm, Alfaro, Rojas, Alcantara. I think you'd have to say this was another really good under-the-radar deal by John Mozeliak and company. Jaime Garcia was part of the deal with the Braves. He made 41 starts after the deal, appeared in 60 games, and there's a base hit. He was 8-17 with an ERA near 5 and now retired. We actually saw him. He's writing a book, and he was down in Jupiter, Florida, visiting Cardinals camp. And here's John Gant now pitching in the Cardinal rotation. Starling Marte was hit by a couple of pitches last night from Daniel Ponce de Leon. And the outfield was busy last night. Daniel went 5 and then 3 relievers. Got 12 fly ball outs and struck out 6. So the infield was fairly quiet.
Yeah, what was at one time about the 7th inning? They had 5 ground balls, maybe 6 ground balls total on both teams.
Daniel ditched the breaking pitch and went all fastballs basically. And a strike to Marte.
A la Lance Lynn.
Yeah.
Here you go. Hit it. I mean, why not, right? Until you can prove that you're going to hit it. Keep throwing it.
Yep.
Make the game easy.
Marte came over at the trade deadline last year. Took a red eye to join the club, and the next night hit a home run in the 8th, gave them the lead. Then broke a bone in his hand. He was hit by a pitch in October. There was a $12 million option on his contract, and the Marlins picked that up.
It was nice of them.
Kept in front by Molina.
There's that changeup, that Vulcan changeup.
You ever tried throwing that? Just messing around?
My fingers don't go in that direction very well. You have to have some big, long fingers. Those are like pitching hands. I have outfielders' hands. I can't.
Strong hands is what you're saying.
I just think that some of these guys, I mean, what's John, 6'5", 6'4"? It's just got those pitchers that can throw that split. There's a reason why they throw it. And you don't see short guys really throwing a split too often because their hands are just not big enough. They're not long enough.
The pitch was up and a liner out to left, and O'Neill dropped it. His throw into third, and that gets away, and a run will score. It should be 1 out and a runner at first, and instead
it's a little league triple.
Yeah, Marte, well, he wound up at second, and a run scores on the air.
I'm not sure what really happened here. Wow. You don't see that happen very often at third base.
Well, I'm sure Arenado's saying the throw should go to second. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think he saw it, though, and watch the bounce. Oh, he just short hopped him. He was in no man's land. I bet you he was thinking the shortstop was going to cut it. You see the look? That's why communication is so important.
So that'll be an error on O'Neill. Now Garrett Cooper was out of their lineup yesterday. Received a COVID shot, so he was on a brief IL list for a day, and now back in their starting lineup. 1-0 Miami. And that is 2 very hard hit balls to start this game against John Gant. The 0-1 instead of check on the runner at second base, Marte, who is a threat to steal. 2 errors were given to O'Neill on that play, on the drop and then the throw.
Yeah, I was going to say that's going to be a at least a 2-error situation. Guys were running all over the place.
There's that good changeup. The soft hands of Molina.
Not really sure right here. This could have been lights, but this hits him in the glove. So I just think he just mistimed the jump right there. That ball was scorched.
So 0-2. Again, the roof open. A shift on the right side for a right-handed batter. Hit out of play. Garrett Cooper came over from the Yankees, the first trade of the Jeter regime. Injuries in 2018 and 19. I just want to see him healthy because when he is, he puts up numbers. Last night it was Jesus Aguilar at first base. Tonight, Garrett Cooper.
I'd like to see the exit velocity off those 2 baseballs.
Change up in the dirt.
I was watching that baseball game last night with the Angels and the Astros. Carlos Correa hit a line drive ground ball through the infield at 116 miles an hour. And the ball hit the dirt before it got to the outfield.
Sometimes they have that camera angle behind home plate. You see a ball put in play. I was watching an Angels game the other day with Mike Trout. Absolute rocket. You see how quick this game is. Change up again, and that'll find the seats out of play.
Speaking of Trout, did you see that hanging changeup he hit a mile last night? It's almost like he knew it was coming.
I also saw the inflatable trash cans make their way onto the field as Houston visits the Angels.
That was a first for me. I've never seen anything like that. Oscar the Grouch was going to pop out.
Now I kind of expect that in Oakland. Those fans get after it pretty good. San Francisco, but not the Angels.
No.
But it was.
Then the real trash can made an appearance.
Yes. Here's a 1-2 pitch. And Houston, by the way, off to a pretty good start. Can't say that, though, for Oakland. 2-2 the count. And time called as Gant throws it high up against the backstop. Maybe a little frustration there from John Gant. Time was awarded late.
Who's the umpire behind the plate?
Jerry Lane. Crew chief. He's been around a long time.
Long time. Got his attention right there. Do you see him duck?
Yeah.
See, I told you people flinch. That's me. I don't waste the pitch.
No. 2-2.
You almost have to count that. Across the plate.
Just a tad bit high.
Just a bit upstairs.
Three and 2 the count. With a runner at second base. And he went with a changeup. Tapped foul. So John Gant trying to get his first out here in the first inning. Pitch number 13. And Cooper draws a walk. Around the Horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. O'Neill, Carlson, and Edman. Tommy Edman is in right tonight. Arenado, DeYoung, Carpenter, Goldschmidt on the infield, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate. Runners at first and second, and here is Duvall. Inning started with a base hit in the first pitch, then the air by O'Neill, a walk, and that's taken low for ball one.
Trying to make some good pitches now. He left a couple balls up in the zone and got hammered. Got to regroup a little bit, hit your spots a little bit better, and now all of a sudden you're missing your spots.
Here's a 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. It's interesting with the grip of Gant how closely hitters will watch him go into the glove, where a lot of guys will start with that grip in their glove because they have to dig in the glove to get the grip.
Yeah, that still is a fine line about how you tip your pitches, how you don't, how you hold the ball in there. Movement, no movement. There's a lot of stuff.
And that's hit to Arenado. Steps on the bag across the diamond, and it's 2. What a play. Nolan Arenado. Most guys sit back on that and go to second. Look at this play here.
Well, I feel like every now and then when you're a guy with this kind of stuff, caliber of defense, you just take it upon yourself. You know that if you take control of this, you're going to step on the bag and you're going to throw a strike to first base. If he catches that ball and gives it up to the second baseman, it's out of his hands for the rest of the time.
What a play.
Pretty good play right there. That's just an easy play too. He just makes it look so easy.
Does that a lot. Throws off balance on the run and gets something on it.
It's like a running quarterback.
So here is Anderson after the double play, and ball one. Took over the everyday third base spot for the Marlins back in 2018. Two and 0. Many around the Marlins wondering if Anderson is the next that they would try to extend and keep him down in South Florida. Runner at second, 2 balls and no strikes. Chisholm on deck. Runner at second. 3 balls and no strikes. Time called by Molina. Tomorrow to be Jack Flaherty and Pablo Lopez in a day game at 3:10. Cardinals return home with fans in the stands on Thursday. Home opener. 3-0 pitch. 3-1.
Thank you. Right on the edge. He said, is that right on the edge?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they say to that? That's a good pitch. You know what that means? I don't know. That's the way I always took it. Yeah, it's a great pitch. I always just say.
Yeah.
Is it a strike, though? It's not a strike. It's a good pitch, but it's not a strike. I'll give you that. I don't want to hear that as a hitter.
3-2. That is a strike.
That thing
there.
that makes me more furious than anything. He's basically telling you he probably missed it if he tells you it's a good pitch. Because if it's a strike, he would say that's a good pitch. That's a strike. That's a good pitch. And I'm sitting there going, you know what? It's 6 inches off the plate.
And the 3-2 taken low.
That's a pretty good at bat right there, especially for a right-hander.
Two walks in the first inning by Gant, and runners at first and second, and already a visit from Mike Maddox. While we have a moment, download the MLB app to get in-game video highlights, live pitch by pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your St. Louis Cardinals. Jazz Chisholm. He is the return from the Diamondbacks for Zach Gallen, who is a former Cardinal. Gallen had a few starts and good ones for the Marlins, and it really shocked a lot of people that they dealt him. But the Marlins were without a high-level shortstop in their system, and so this young man is their shortstop of the future. Mixed results last year in his first taste in the big leagues. And so now he, with Rojas there, is shifted to second base. We saw Rojas, a really good defender.
Wow, they made that play the other day. Yesterday, to be exact. I'm telling you what, I've seen a couple of really smashed hits off the bat that have been caught like nobody's business around the league.
And the 0-1. Nothing in 2. He is from Bahama, the Bahaman, and that's Jazz Chisholm. First player from the Bahamas, born in the Bahamas.
Really?
Yep. To make an opening day roster since Will Colmer with Cleveland in 1983. And the 0-2 pitch. Got him. Fastball up. First strikeout for Gant. Marlins pick up a run. Arenado is coming up. Lead it off for St. Louis. Yadier Molina and Tyler O'Neill. Well, if you're the Cardinals, you got to find out what you have in Matt Carpenter. It's game 5. It's no secret. Makes a bunch of money. And you got to try to maximize what you have in Carpenter.
And you got to figure out how to get him going, too. And it's been a struggle the last year or so. Really trying to find it. And it's just like there's just nothing there for him. He's at one point gets pitched really tough. At one point he hits everything on the nose and it's an out. And then there's another one where he swings and misses and goes through a funk. So nothing has been going his way over the last year and a half.
Put in a lot of work in the offseason. Would travel 90 minutes away from his home every day, work out with other big leaguers at a facility, baseball specific. Just trying to recapture where he was a couple years ago. 2-1.
I think when it gets this drastic, you got to find somebody that really knows what's going on. This is past going and working out with your buddies. This is having someone look at your tapes, breaking you down, and really starting over again at some point with anything, whether it be the front foot not hitting in the right spot, whether you're pulling back like that. It seems like now that swing is really nice, and then as soon as he starts to get through the zone, you can see his shoulders kind of pull back right there. It's almost like, I tell people all the time, you don't lift before contact, you lift after contact. You swing, hit through the ball, and then your hands come up and they get free. You don't try to lift it before that.
And Carpenter hits it the other way.
And that's what he needs right there. And that is just a fastball down the middle that he didn't try to go around too much, stayed on it. Take that all day long. Good swing.
So he lines out to start the inning, and it brings in Yadier Molina.
It's been his best swing so far in a long time.
Yep. As you said, you take that all day long.
Take your chances.
Molina early in the game yesterday with a double off the center field wall as he passed Johnny Bench. 382 career doubles, 8th most all time among primary catchers.
I love it when the pitchers point up in the air and the ball hit the 400-foot sign on the line.
Yeah, go get it, Jimmy.
Yeah, somebody go get it. Please.
Nothing in 2 the count. O'Neill on deck. So on the bench tonight, Justin Williams, Kisner, Sosa, Nagowski, and Dean. Dean getting a start in right last night, and that goes to Tommy Edman here in game 2. And the 1-2 pitch.
Thanks.
Second strikeout for Alcantara.
That is just straight old-fashioned hardball right there. 99 up in the zone. It's where he likes to go with 2 strikes. Try to get ahead. Try to throw you some slop. And try to strike you out with that fastball up. It's a pretty good pattern right there. Could throw 96 to 98 with the sinker at the bottom of the zone. Get a strike. Throw a slider and a changeup. Maybe the changeup right here. And then you always can reach back and hit 99 and have someone not even touch it.
They talk about now with Alcantara, even in the days and the games and the starts that he's not at his best. You look up and he's 5, 6, 7 innings without his best stuff.
And I think that guys like this, anytime you see upper 90s, you're going to have issues as a hitter. And if you're a pitcher and you stand out there like you got everything under control, that hitter doesn't know how you feel that day.
Watch out.
But you could get this.
Oh boy.
That's going to cost somebody.
So there is glass. You can hear the umpire saying somebody's got to clean up the glass behind home plate. That's our robo camera behind home plate.
Well, at least those 2 little pieces on the left are still clear. There he is. Just see little holes.
Yeah.
Still can use it.
That is the crew chief behind home plate, Jerry Lane. So the grounds crew, with the help of the Cardinal bat boy, provided by the visiting team.
Maybe the little vacuum out there, little dust buster. You ever seen this before?
I saw Al McInnes smash a slap shot, break the glass.
It's like a hockey timeout right here.
Oh,
seen plenty of glass in the NHL break, but not to stop a baseball game.
All right, and away we go. It's a count of no balls and 2 strikes. And a strikeout of O'Neill. Back-to-back Ks, 2 in the inning, 3 in the game for Alcantara, and a broken camera to boot.
The second in Florida. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's an old saying that served Daniel Ponce de Leon very well last night. Ponce going 5 innings, giving up just 1 run. He threw fastball after fastball after fastball, 93 pitches, 88 were fastballs, 83 of them 4-seamers. Ponce said he had a pretty good curveball in his side sessions, but as Ponce put it, Yachty didn't call any curveballs, and I wasn't about to shake him. Danny, Ponce told me he's shaken off Yachty 3 times in his career, once this past spring training, and he immediately gave up a base hit. Ponce says he's probably not going to be doing that again anytime soon.
Hey, Jimmy, do you have an update on KK? I know the Cardinals are hopeful to get him back in the rotation or at least back on the roster fairly soon. What do you know about it?
Well, he was supposed to throw a sim game today. We know he did throw that game. We're waiting on an update from someone within the Cardinals to tell us how he did. The plan, Dan, was supposed to be that he would get through that well. He would join the team in Florida, head back to St. Louis with the team, reassess, and possibly get him back on the roster.
All right, Jimmy, thanks. Daniel allowed 1 run over 5 innings. Kim is trying to come back from back stiffness. The 2-1 to Alfaro is taken for a ball, 3 balls and 1 strike. Can't walk 2, gave up a leadoff base hit. That was in the bottom of the first, and it's 1-0 Miami. 3-1 pitch. 3-2.
I was thinking about those foul balls. Those are expensive, right? The baseball costs about $25-30 a piece. They go through a lot of those baseballs. That foul ball that broke the camera?
Yeah.
Really expensive foul ball.
We are told that that camera is about a $20,000 to $25,000 camera. As DeYoung keeps it on the infield but could not corral it.
With a $15,000 lens. So that is a $40,000 camera right there. So it's a $40,025 foul ball.
So you're telling me it was an expensive foul ball?
That one definitely was an expensive foul ball. Probably the most expensive foul ball of the season.
So far.
At least so far. I don't know how it could get any more. Except for those really big cameras.
I don't know how much those are. Maybe the guys in the truck can help us out.
Those things are close to 100,000, aren't they?
I think so.
But they have so many parts and moving parts that I'm sure you can salvage some of it.
It was Tony West who's on our crew.
Is he the one that put it in the wrong spot?
Well, he works here in St. Louis, and he runs our RoboCam. That's a RoboCam behind home plate. This is Rojas. And so Tony was the one that told us that's probably 20 grand with the camera, 10 to 15 with the lens.
Now, is that on the outside of the fence or on the inside of the fence?
I think it's the inside, and the fencing went back because it's got a little give.
2 things to say about this. If it's on the playing side of the fence, that's a bad idea. But then you got to get a clear shot, so I understand it.
Double play ball. Second double play started by Nolan Arenado.
Pretty quick turn right there by both those guys. Better be getting to second base in a hurry the way Nolan turns the throw to second base. Just catches it and throws it. There you go, Cart. All day long.
So your guess on the big cameras was,
well, I'm saying,
grand? I have the answer.
I think it's in that neighborhood is what I've been told before, but I could be wrong, clearly.
It's 150.
Okay, well, I'm still in the showcase showdown.
You are.
I'm not over.
Like Bob Barker here.
But back to the camera, I understand it's on the inside because you want to get a better shot. But if you put that camera up there that close to the fence, you haven't been watching baseball very long.
It'll find it.
I can't get it that close. Nope.
It's on the outside.
I don't know. I think that's a bad angle right there. I believe that is either in its own cage or that is in the playing surface.
Strikeout of Sandy Alcantara in the first of the night for John Gant. We head to inning number 3. Again, and take home a mystery Cardinals Hall of Fame parade bobblehead courtesy of Ford. 10,000 fans entering with a ticket April 10th and 11th. Surprised with a bobblehead featuring Stan the Man, Jack Buck, maybe even Tony La Russa. Cardinals.com/promotions. There are some tickets available in April, which may surprise some folks that there are tickets available. Not many. So if you want to get a ticket down to the ballpark, come on down. And there are tickets available. And there's giveaways every single night in April. Every night. Dylan Carlson, John Gant, Tommy Edman. And the first pitch taken for a ball. How many times do you see Dylan Carlson get a first pitch fastball? Not very often.
Hardly ever. I really like the fact that he is showing some patience, though, with that. And it's almost like some days he's just taking to see what's going to happen, and other days he's ready to hit and sees the breaking ball and stop. So numbers aren't showing anything as far as average, but I think he's had some pretty good at bats. He's just not getting anything out of it. Hits are hard to come by. And not handing them out, as they say.
Hit the home run on opening day. Now the 1-2. And a check swing got him.
It's a nasty 93-mile-an-hour changeup right there. Not even fair.
This guy's really good, man.
Circle change. That's better than most people's sinker.
See the movement
93,
there?
Here you go again. 93 miles an hour. Just running all over the place.
There's John Gant. Are you done with the pitchers hitting, or do you want to see him swinging the bat?
I am done.
I think after last year, I'm a traditionalist, but after what I saw
I'm with you.
last year, I'm
yep.
This ain't cutting it.
Especially when you have a matchup like this.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get a hit. Watch. If he swings. What do you think? Are you hacking?
I'm saying he's taken.
Don't you want to try and get a hit?
Well, of course you want to try, Jimmy, but then you got 99 with sinking action.
Oops.
And good luck. So first time through the lineup, 5 strikeouts. And he has struck out now 4 in a row. 5 total. Tommy Edman yesterday connected with his first home run of the year.
Nice job. 2-strike swing. Slider sitting up there a little bit. Not even a hanger. Just slow to swing down enough. And once again, another really good at bat for Tommy Edman.
And the one thing about playing Carpenter too is that defensively you got to move Edman into right. Kind of a jack of all trades and can do it fine, but he's really settling in defensively at second.
And that was my only thing. I just don't really love that from a player's perspective. I understand it as the front office manager's perspective. I feel like once you get settled in there, we talked about it opening day a little bit off and on here and there. You start writing that lineup the same every day and the guys start getting into a rhythm. Then you pop in there and like, oh, right field, boy. You're like, oh, I want to play, but ugh. That was a good shot right there. Did you see that? You could see the ball through his glove. That ball is not a strike, and I don't think anyone in the ballpark thought it was.
Strikes out the side. It's 1-0 midway through 3. We're adding to tonight. You ready?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Now, we didn't know that this was going to happen, but I'm supposed to read, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Well, there it is.
It's being uncovered. Well, everyone, if it could just tilt it a little bit to the right, we could still got those little 2 spots that are pretty clear.
Perfect timing, huh?
That is a big time promo right there.
Top of the lineup, and it's 1-0 Miami. Cardinals will celebrate a Hall of Famer in person at the ballpark each day of the homestand after opening day on Thursday. Off day on Friday. And that's a hit batter. Saturday it's going to be Ozzie. Sunday Ted Simmons. Monday Whitey Herzog. Tuesday Do you know that you're supposed to be at the ballpark Tuesday?
I think I know the date.
Okay, that's
13.
Jim Edmonds. Wednesday, Izzy. So a chance to see and honor some great Cardinals in the first 6 home games, and Clydesdales will be there on opening day. We have that officially. And Scott Rowland with the ceremonial first pitch to Nolan Arenado.
Ooh.
I like that.
I hope you are loosening up if you are watching, and I know you're not, Scott. Do not bounce it.
Marte rips it out to left for a base hit. And the first 2 have reached here in the 3rd.
This guy can hit. A little bit of a hanging slider right there, and this guy punishes bad breaking balls. I feel like that pitch right there is the one he always hits, that little hanging slider.
Been doing a long time. We saw him with Pittsburgh. Good player.
He's got a nice little start going, hitting .471.
Here's Cooper, who walked. Runners at first and second. Gets a call there. And it's a ball and a strike. John Gant had 2 walks in the first inning. Error committed behind him. That led to a run. Gave up a hit in the second. That turned into a double play. Cardinals have turned 2. Dickerson to start this inning. Hit by a pitch. Base hit by Marte, and the 1-1. One and 2 the count. And a grounder foul. Cardinals' lone visit to Miami this year in a full 162. There's so many teams we did not see last year. The oddity of last season, the Chicago Cubs never came to Busch Stadium. All those games were at Wrigley. Changeup in the dirt. Two and 2 the count. Inside. Well, early on in this game, this becomes a big pitch on 3 and 2.
Yeah, you got 2 guys on now, nobody out. Definitely don't want to go to the bases loaded, and you definitely don't want to give in right here and serve up a 3-run bomb. So gotta be a little careful.
Infield shifting on the left side, and the full count pitch missed, and they're all loaded up for Duvall. Now it's time for our Kia player profile, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com. And the changeup a year ago, such an effective pitch for John Gant. And Gant now in trouble with the bases loaded and nobody out. Duvall grounded into a double play. 0 for 1. Outfield deep. They are straight away. First pitch by Gant. Ball 1.
And he is really struggling now with his mechanics. You can see how he's kind of yanking fastballs away. He's having trouble going to that left-handed side of the batter's box of the home plate, and it's just like cross-firing.
No activity yet in the Cardinal pen. Pitch number 50 here for John Gant. Two and 0. Duvall, guy with very good power, so hitters count. He's got 4 grand slams in his career. The 2-0. Tied him up. It's popped up and out of play. Well, the bottom of the third started with Dickerson hit by a pitch. Marte lacing a single to left. Cooper worked the count full, drew a walk.
The bad thing right here for Johnny Gant is it doesn't look like he has any control of where he wants to throw it, and he's just throwing it and hoping that he's going to hit his spot.
And that was a good changeup.
That's a lifesaver right there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Jake Woodford has now grabbed a baseball and starts to throw in the Cardinals pen. He would be your pseudo long man currently right now for the Cardinals.
I kind of like that spring training where you just take Johnny Gant out for like an inning, close off the inning, then take him back out there the next inning. Let him get his work back in.
Got him. Big strikeout for Gant. His 3rd tonight.
That KK's gig, he did that a couple times in spring training. That split-figured fastball, that Vulcan pitch. Very hard to lay off of when he throws it well because it comes out like a 4-seamer. You can see it starts off in the zone and just takes off straight down.
Brian Anderson walked back in the 1st inning. Gant has issued 3 so far tonight. One thing he did very well last year was get a lot of ground balls, and those can turn into double plays. And this one popped up. Infield fly, catch made by Paul DeYoung, and 2 outs. This could be a momentum shifting inning for St. Louis.
You can see that he's right there. Fastball, he kind of zoomed up and in or up. He's really getting underneath a few pitches today. That's why he's not getting the ground balls that he normally gets. Got to get outs however you can get them, especially when you're not feeling good. And like you said earlier, Danny, especially when you don't have your best stuff.
Here's Chisholm, bases loaded, now 2 away. Struck out back in the 1st swinging. Can Gant pitch out of this jam? Changeup taken low.
Some kind of an athlete to come out of Nassau, Bahamas, and get to the big leagues. Something tells me there's just not a lot of good ballparks and a lot of good games going on down there.
And that's a strike. 1-1.
I love those stories when you play with guys that tell you that Edgar Renteria used a milk carton as a glove as a kid.
Albert did that.
I mean, just no real baseballs, just played a lot of stick ball or hit the cap, top of a water bottle or the top of a Coke bottle as your ball.
It's about hand-eye coordination, isn't it?
Yep, doesn't matter what you hit. You can hit it.
One ball and one strike. Change up.
Thanks.
Didn't get the call. Looked to be a pretty good pitch.
I'd throw it again. He looks like he's not ready to hit that pitch. Either that or he's got an amazing eye.
Now time is called.
I like this right here. Good job by Yachty. I think he put fastball down and Johnny Gant just went with it, and then Yachty thought about it. This is the time of the game. This is why I don't like as baseball, I don't like the mound visits to be limited. This is a really big spot in the game, and this is basically the game for John Gant.
Yeah.
And so you can't take anything for granted, and you don't want to not, as a catcher, be able to go out there and walk through, hey, what do you want to throw here? Because a lot of these guys will just throw whatever Yachty puts down, and that might not be the pitch he wants to throw, but he's going to throw it because Yachty tells him. Was that changeup right there?
Well, you want to have him with conviction on the mound.
Exactly. And that's the shorter version of what I was trying to say. Good call.
2-1 pitch.
Go back to that fastball.
2-2.
Now he's got him, though. He's got him if he makes a good pitch. He's just throwing some changeups that he doesn't look like he's ready to hit. Fastball pretty much blew right by him.
And he struck him out. Bases loaded. Nobody out. And the Marlins cannot score. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Marlins cannot score. 1-0 in favor of Miami. And let's check in with Jim.
Dan, we told you that KK threw a simulated game in Jupiter today, and we were trying to see how well he fared and get that information. We now have it. KK threw 5 innings, 68 pitches, 2 hits, 1 walk, 6 Ks. We're told he was throwing 87 miles per hour to 90 throughout. He looked good, so the plan would be, we assume, that KK rejoins the Cardinals. They head back to St. Louis, and then they'll reassess, but certainly good news for KK.
All right, good news for the Cardinals as well. Thank you, Jimmy. This is Paul Goldschmidt. Alcantara has struck out 6, and that includes 5 in a row. The record, by the way, for a Marlins pitcher, 9 consecutive strikeouts, 2009. Ricky Nolasco did that. Goldschmidt popped out his first time up, the 2-2. Well, this guy is filthy right now.
There's nothing you could do with that. That's not even a fastball. This changeup again, catching the seam. It's down action. Can't hit it. You can barely catch it.
That's 6 strikeouts in a row. Arenado off of Alcantara, and the Cardinals have their first base hit tonight.
Well, he probably thought it was going to be him too. He's not shy about swinging the bat. This is the thing too about good hitters, right? He just threw the nastiest changeup / sinker, and you can't even tell when you're on deck if it is one or the other. Down and in to your best hitter or second best hitter And what does he do? He goes up and looks for a ball out over the plate, and he gets a hanging slider and smashes it right back at him. Not even thinking about the sinker down and in.
So the Cardinals have their first hit tonight. Tying run at first. Now DeYoung. And pulls it foul past Pop Warner.
So changeup again, 91 mile an hour. It's just not fair. If you're watching this game at home as a pitcher around the league, and you're trying to figure out, how do I get a 91 mile an hour changeup?
Well, they all have tried.
Gosh, his arm is unbelievable. Then you get this.
And DeYoung pops it up. It's out of play. Remember, this ball game started with what we initially called an infield hit, and they overturned that, ruled it an error on a contra, and then after that it has been smooth sailing until that base hit by Nolan Arenado. Here's an 0-2. DeYoung fly to center his first time up. Arenado, the runner at first base. Another strikeout. That is number 8. This is following a game in which the Cardinals struck out 13 times last night. All-inclusive tickets back for this season, on sale now for April games, and enjoy the game in style with all your food and drinks included and a great view of the game. Get yours today, cardinals.com/all-inclusive. And once again, the Cardinals want to make sure that you know those games are not sold out, and a great giveaway every single game in April. Here's Carpenter, who lined out to left. Say that Carpenter's had one of the better at bats tonight against Alcantara.
Got to look for that fastball out over the plate. Try not to do too much with it.
Picked by Alfaro. And it's a ball and a strike. Matt looking for his first base hit of the year, making his first start of the season.
So change up again.
And a ground ball right side into the shift. Cardinals strand a runner, their second of the night. 7, 8, 9 coming up from Miami. So John Gant so far, 3 innings, 3 hits. He's given up a run that was back in the first on the air by Tyler O'Neill. Walked 3, struck out 4. But maybe for his night, you know, you look at a positive, was last inning, bases loaded, nobody out, and pitched out of that jam.
Yeah, he did a really nice job. It seemed like he just lost his mechanics completely for a few hitters, and then was able to come back and make some good pitches.
So 7, 8, 9 in the lineup for the Miami Marlins. Alfaro has an infield hit back in the second.
It's interesting to me watching John Gant that when his front foot hits, his momentum doesn't keep going. It's basically pitching against his front foot. Just kind of stops and then just goes sideways. You don't see that leg really come over the top, that back leg, and that follow through going towards the plate. Such a long stride. Just stops right there.
Kind of swings his backside.
Yeah, a lot of guys will just continue to follow through, and that back leg will end up in front of the front leg.
That's hit out of play. He did not have one situation last year with the bases loaded. As a reliever, that's
impossible.
Hard to do.
Really hard to do.
We talk so much about his changeup and the Vulcan grip. It is a very good pitch. And at times a really good pitch tonight. The 1-2. The 1-2 pitch by Gant. And a foul ball again.
Starting to find it again. Start to look for just when. Are you around Yadi's glove? He wasn't even close in that inning where he got the bases loaded. And all of a sudden he's back to hitting his spots a little bit better. Throwing his pitches where he needs to.
One-two is tapped back to Gant. He'll step and throw. And the first out here in the home half of the fourth. April 12th, 13th, 14th. Cardinals host Washington. Take home an adult puffy vest courtesy of Bayer. And add that to your Cardinals fashion.
Super excited about that. That is right in the middle of when I will be there. Be wearing that everywhere.
So you're going to take it home?
Yes. Maybe more than one.
Nationals finally played today as their club has been hit with COVID. And Juan Soto hit a walk-off homer to beat the Atlanta Braves. They had Alex Avila, Yan Gomes, catchers, Josh Bell, the former Pirate, Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, Kyle Schwarber, Patrick Corbin, John Lester, and Brad Hand, all on the COVID-19 list.
Wow. Come on.
1-0 pitch. Good changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike on Rojas, who grounded into a 5-4-3 double play his first time up. You had Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate as their opening day starter at catcher.
It'll be a. What is that? Carpool from AAA to the big leagues.
Yeah, the taxi squad.
Yes. Everybody jump in. That had to be more than the taxi squad right there.
It is. Fights it off and a base hit into center. 4th hit tonight for Miami. So now you're asking your pitcher to bunt in these spots, and let's see how aggressive Nolan Arenado wants to be. I don't think we have to worry about him being aggressive.
Yeah, this is where you don't want your ace of the staff getting down in there in the bunting area, especially with a guy who has been all over the zone. Watch your fingers.
Rojas, your runner at first base. Goldschmidt holding. Arenado charging at third. So this goes back to the play we were talking about We've seen it already a couple of times where Arenado will take a chance more so than other third basemen to get that lead runner.
Well, especially with the pitcher running. There's a pretty good chance he is going to field this ball, even if it's hit right at John Gant.
Up and in.
There he is.
Arenado, by the way, fined by Major League Baseball after the bench is cleared over the weekend. So was Yadier Molina, but no suspension. Two and 0 the count.
I don't know about that situation right there with that changeup. I think if you don't throw a strike there with that pitch, now you're putting everyone back on their heels because he could pull back and swing 2-0. Think about if you're ever going to get a fastball in this game, it was right there. You're 1-0, changeup. First pitch you throw over the head. Second pitch change up in the dirt. You know he's bunting. It's 2-0 with the pitcher up. I'm going to give you 100% you're getting a fastball. That might be the one chance I take, especially because you know he has to throw a strike. He might even let up. If your pitcher can hit at all, I'm having to say turn around and swing. Take a shot.
You see Molina kind of setting the defense there. How they want to play this. Arenado way in at third, as you see.
I mean, you might as well just get up in there with John, but see, there you go.
Throw down to second and not in time. So stolen base for Rojas.
Was a tough play right there by Yadi. Can't really jump out once he pulls the bat back. Yadi has to stay back a little bit longer than he wants to. Can't get a good throw off through the wrong side of the bag. No chance.
And the 2-2 hit out of play. So Carpenter now moving well to his left near the first base line, realizing he's probably tardy with the swing just
Where
in case.
He should be. I think he should be even further over there and deeper.
And a foul ball. Pitch count now at 75 for John Gant. And we're only in the fourth inning.
Just jumped up a lot in last inning right there.
The bases loaded situation, got out of that, now dealing with a runner at second. One out, 2-2 the count on Sandy Alcantara. Little chopper to Nolan Arenado. Plenty of time. Makes the play. Top of the lineup in Dickerson. Singled to left and scored. Was hit by a pitch. Top three in the lineup have been on base 6 times in this game. If you're a baseball fan, you hate to hear this. Padres place Fernando Tatis Jr. on the injured list. as his left shoulder continues to be separated at times with some of the swings and various things going on there. So not good news.
That's that glove shoulder. That's the same thing I had in Anaheim when I was younger from diving and running into the wall, and the big swing with the front, with the bottom hand. That is not a good situation.
Good play by Yachty. That's ball one. Tyler Webb starting to throw in the Cardinals pen. And the reports that if he went and had surgery, then he's done for the year.
Yeah, that's just a tough spot too, because that's his, like I said, his bottom arm with the bat, and he gets that thing outstretched all the time, and that's going to hinder him big time if he has to have that operated on. It's going to take all the mobility out of that shoulder.
He's in what, game 5 of a contract that'll pay him $340 million.
Well, and he's been hurt in the past too. I mean, he plays so hard.
Yep.
You can see why they pay him. But you got to slow him down a little bit. He slides head first all the time. Diving in the infield. Big swing. Shoulder's going to take a beating. I had mine operated on in '99, and it hurt for 4, 5, 6 years.
The 2-0 pitch. Pulled foul. He's such a great face of the game too. Exciting. Tremendous player, talent. And a small market team that decided to lock up really good players. Machado, Tatis, Hosmer. Generally speaking, that's a good thing for the sport.
Yeah, that's just,
I want to watch him play.
You'd be lucky if all of your multi-year deals panned out. That's pretty hard to keep up with all those guys playing as hard as they play.
Catches the corner. It was the same pitch that was called a strike on Tommy Edman. So 2-2 the count. Gant has walked 3, hit a man, and struck out 4. Trying to pitch out of trouble again. The 2-2. And Yachty wants to talk about this too. And while we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Choices are never a bad thing, especially when they all look so good. Go ahead, take your time, and find the account that's perfect for you at GreatSouthernBank.com.
You got Johnny Gant here with 81 pitches, Danny, and you got Tyler Webb in the bullpen. But what you don't have is any left-handed hitters coming up for the Marlins until you get all the way down to the 5-hole, 6-hole.
And that's Chisholm.
And he's the only one.
And Gant has struck him out a couple of times. 3-2 pitch. John Gant. Line to Carpenter. And the threat is through. Marlins have stranded 6. It's 1-0. Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest, brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals, and by Steel. Find your Steel dealer at steeldealers.com. Here's Yadier Molina. First pitch swinging and a base hit into center. Just the second Cardinal hit against Sandy Alcantara.
Gotti does such a nice job with that first pitch. He knows the hitter is trying to get ahead, regardless if it's a fastball or a slider. Doesn't try to do too much, but he covers the plate just in case it's a breaking ball. And then when he gets out there during the contact point, doesn't try to do anything other than just hit it. That's that ball that he hit last night. It was a first pitch changeup.
It seems like this has been a game dominated by the Marlins. Ton of opportunities. They've stranded 6, and yet here you are with one swing of the bat. You can go on top.
Yeah, and it's only 1-0, obviously, but there's only been 6 hits. But a lot of walks, 2 errors, move some guys around. 1 error, but charged twice.
And the misplay in left by Tyler O'Neill.
3 walks, so that gives you basically 7 free passes with the hits. And yeah, he's been pitching out of a little bit of trouble all night. But the good news is it's still 1-0.
0-2 on Tyler O'Neill.
The bad news is Alcantara's only got 59 pitches.
Yeah. And that's
really bad news.
8 strikeouts. With a lot of starters not going deep in the first handful of games, Don Mattingly has said, we feel comfortable going deep with Sandy Alcantara. And he might be the guy that gets us to 190, 200 innings this year. He said we'd have no problem doing that.
Well, he's got good mechanics, got good fastball. He doesn't look like he's really pressing out there to get that velocity. Doesn't look like he's overthrowing ever.
Strikeout number 9. 8 of the 9 have been swinging tonight for Sandy Alcantara.
And most of them that fastball right there, and the other few have been the changeup that is unhittable.
StatCast 3D presented by Google Cloud.
There you go, just as I said it.
So 9 strikeouts. Here's Dylan Carlson. The only Cardinal hitter without a strikeout in this game is Matt Carpenter.
You got to be ready to hit right here if you're Dylan Carlson. Not trying to do anything too much, just trying to be ready to hit a fastball or a strike.
And that's ball 1. Runner at first is Yadier Molina. Strikeout of Tyler O'Neill. Dylan Carlson here. Justin Williams at the on-deck circle as Ryan Helsley is throwing in the Cardinal pen. See frustration there. You don't see that very often from Dylan.
I'll tell you what, I mean, that is a straight fastball at 98, and he is so late. And everyone is so late. They're just telling you how special this guy's arm is. Has there been a fastball been hit hard yet?
I think Carpenter's was a fastball to left.
That was the only one.
Yeah. Line out to left.
Base hit. Arenado was a slider.
Gets through Alfaro, so Molina to second base.
Molina's base hit was a slider. Here's the thing that Dylan struggled with a lot last year at the beginning. You have a 2-1 count. You got a guy out at second base and you so badly want to drive this in, but against this guy you just can't sell out for fastball. So everything else would make you look ridiculous. So you have to be a little bit even keeled and just try to use your quick hands.
Play him to pull on the infield, outfield basically straight away.
How do you play him to pull when the guy's throwing 99?
See it all the time, though, you know?
I don't get it. I mean, I understand he's going to roll over some pitches, but you better be ready to make an adjustment if that fastball's coming in. especially if he throws it away.
The 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Amazing thing is how free and easy Sandy Alcantara is with his fastball, everything.
I'm telling you, he really doesn't change his motion at all. Reminds me a little bit of Reyes. When he wants to reach back, you can't tell in his body. You can tell about the acceleration of his arm from the head to the release point, and that's it. Just gets a little bit quicker. Nothing else changes.
Full count on Dylan Carlson.
I think if Daryl Carlson didn't have those issues last year and what we were talking about, can't sell out on the baseball, on the fastball, that 2-1 fastball you have got to swing at. You have to. You have to talk yourself into it. Doesn't mean you have to cheat, but you just can't take it. Not with this guy's weapons. Sometimes you just have to force yourself to swing. As I said the other night, you have to think that he's going to throw a strike, not think that he's going to throw a ball.
Hits it the other way, and a collision with Yachty and the third baseman. That's Anderson. And Molina will be out.
Can you explain this to me? Because I think I know, but for the people at home, both guys are going for the ball.
He has to do the best he can to get out of the way and allow the
I think he did.
Infielder to make the play.
Well, what do you do there?
Your runway is about 3 feet either side, and that's a pretty easy call.
I understand that, but you take it from the player's perspective, right? Watch Yachty. Ball's hit. He's trying to get to third. Oh, there's a guy standing right in front of me. He thinks that's the shortstop's ball the whole way.
So now there's 2 away.
That's a bad play all the way around, don't you think?
Yep.
I mean, you got both of those guys are in no man's land.
And Mike Schilt just getting an explanation. It really becomes a pretty easy call for the umpiring crew. And it's Quinn Wolcott down at third. Mel Stoudemire Jr. Quick scouting report on Justin Williams, looking for his first hit of 2021. So John Gant tonight in his return to the rotation for the Cardinals. 4 innings, 1 run on 4 hits as the Marlins stranded 6.
Don't you think there's some people at home right now saying, well, if the position player has every right to the baseball, why does not the runner have a right to run straight to the bag?
Well, the runner's got to make sure and take every opportunity to avoid the collision. And he went straight at the bag, and I understand it, but winds up being a pretty easy call. Ooh, Justin didn't like that, and it's now 0-2.
Would you give that about 6 inches off the plate?
I was going to say half a foot.
Don't blink. You might miss that last couple feet of run.
And he felt, I'm sure, that he had to swing at that. 10 strikeouts through 5 for Sandy Alcantara. Cardinals strand a runner, their third, and it's 1-0. Healthcare difference maker, the defense of Nolan Arenado. Double play earlier. It's been a part of 2 tonight. Quick release, throwing off balance, turning to Nolan Arenado, the 8-time Gold Glover.
probably won't be the last time you get to watch those highlights.
No, sir.
During the course of the season.
Chevy called to the pen and takes us to Ryan Helsley. Starling Marte. And a fly ball into right. One pitch, one out. Tommy Edman in right field tonight if you just joined us. Matt Carpenter getting the start at second base. First time that Marte has not been on base in this game. Reached on an error, singled, now flies to right. Garrett Cooper has walked twice. Cardinals with a number of hard throwers in their bullpen, and that includes this right-hander Ryan Helsley. And the first pitch taken low.
I think it's good to see him get out there again too. I think that first outing for him the other day was just over adrenaline, trying to overdo everything. Been a while since he's been out there in a big league game. He was flailing and firing fastballs and sliders all over the place. So it's good that he gets back in this game right here.
The key play in that game was the double play, and Stevenson ran with the bases loaded. On a fly ball to left, he was the runner at second base, and it turned into a double play. Ran right into those two outs, and Helsley was out of the jam.
I don't think, since he's been here, and now he hasn't been here all that long, I don't think I've ever seen Ryan pitch that wildly. You recall any?
No.
I mean, he'll throw some fastballs up and he'll throw some fastballs around them, but you never see him bounce sliders like that.
There's only been two Marlins pitchers prior to tonight strike out 10 or more Cardinals in a game. Jose Fernandez in 2013. A.J. Burnett did it back in 2000. There's a one-out walk, so Garrett Cooper walking for the third time. Can't walk three, and the first one issued by Helsley.
Gosh, they've had some pretty good starters run through this organization too, haven't they?
Good players.
For a long time.
Yep.
Squash all the hitters, even so recently as those outfielders we talked about yesterday with all the trades, but those pitchers over the years, wow.
Here's Duvall, and he takes strike one. He was in a key spot back in the third. Bases loaded, nobody out. Johnny Gant got out of it. Struck out Duvall. Anderson popped out to short with one out, bases loaded. And Chisholm struck out to end that threat. Nothing in two, the count. Cardinals a double play turn back in the first, another one in inning number 2. Cardinals have Flaherty against Pablo Lopez tomorrow. And we'll come your way at 2:30 here on Bally Sports. The 1-2 pitch by Ryan Helsley. Hit out of play. Cardinals in their bullpen, the right-handers, Jordan Hicks, Alex Reyes, who closed the game out last night. Giovanni Gallegos was really good, couple of innings, 26 pitches. Helsley, Woodford, who's been up and throwing. On the left side, Webb, Miller, Cabrera. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gallegos 2 innings, 26 pitches. That was last night. And then Alex Reyes, Jordan Hicks. Pretty good when you can bring Jordan Hicks into a ball game in the 6th.
That is a good feeling right there. It's nice to have 2 or 3 closers that you can use when you need to put a stop right then and there to a lineup and not have to wait till the 8th and 9th.
Be the strength of this club.
For sure.
Especially seeing the early trends in baseball. Only 5 pitchers have navigated through the 7th inning in all the baseball going into play tonight. The furthest pitcher from the Central is gone is Corbin Burns. Went 6 1/3. That's it. And a base hit to left on a pitch up.
Slider up, I believe.
So again, Cardinals dealing with base runners on.
Yeah, you know, we've seen a lot of hits off the slider this year, and that is just hitters being ahead of the pitchers. Feel like that slider sometimes can be a feel pitch. Seen a lot of mistakes so far at the beginning of the year with that pitch.
Brian Anderson has walked and then popped out with the bases loaded and 1 out. And that's ball 1.
Yeah, you can see too, just checking out the mechanics. I feel like when he's really trying to throw hard, he gets a little jumpy. Let's see if he's falling off towards first base, and what that does is just the arm drags and you lose your control and you lose your velocity.
A single to left field. And the bases again will be loaded. They hold up the runner. Throw by Arenado to second. So walk back-to-back hits. Bases loaded for the 2nd time tonight for Miami.
Just another pitch. Good swing right there. Which is in the zone to hit. I'll tell you what, Tyler O'Neill throws that ball and hits Arenado in the chest. The kid at second base is out. Who was that over there? Cooper?
Yep.
He was about ready to come to third base.
And that's hit out of play. The 0-1 pitch to Chisholm. Hit the other way. O'Neill with the catch. Runner tags up to score. That's Cooper. And it's a 2-0 Miami lead.
Nice job by Tyler O'Neill right there. Not trying to do too much. Not trying to catch this ball and make a throw right away. Just catch it. Runner's probably going to score anyways. Does a nice job of getting up and getting it in. These guys try to make this catch on their feet, try and save a run, and that's too late for that.
Also hold a runner from advancing to third base, further complicating things.
Well, and also, to be honest with you, that's a nice piece of running by Cooper right there. There's no reason to tag there. You're going to score from second base on a base hit with 2 outs anyways. Can't take that chance.
And a strike to Jorge Alfaro. Infield hit back in the second, grounded back to the pitcher. Marlins got a run in the first and another one here in inning number 5. Nothing in 2. Well, Yachty set up about a foot outside.
I was going to say, really hit a spot there. Just really trying to get him to chase right there.
Cardinals will have the top of the lineup looking ahead to the 6th inning. And an 0-2 pitch by Ryan Helsley. Struck him out. So Marlins pick up the RBI from Jazz Chisholm. And now it's the top of the lineup. Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt, and Nolan Arenado. What's on tap? The probable starters. Some career numbers for Jack Flaherty and Pablo Lopez. Pair of right-handers tomorrow. And we will come your way at 2:30 on Bally Sports Midwest. Story tonight, though, has been this right-hander, Sandy Alcantara, 10 strikeouts through 5 innings. Cardinals have 2 hits. The first hit they got was with 1 out in the 4th. Arenado hit one off the foot of Alcantara for a base hit. And Yadier Molina, base hit to center back in inning number 5, and the first pitch is popped foul. The 10 strikeouts for this right-hander, Alcantara, that matches his career high. One ball, 1 strike. Tommy Edman reached on an error back in the first inning, called out on strikes in the 3rd. Let's get that late movement.
I mean, it's just sometimes it grabs seams and goes straight down, and sometimes it just gets there and just stops because the velocity is not the same as his fastball.
Tommy hits it right side to the bag, and he's safe. Alfaro backing up. Base hit, Tommy Edman on base for the 2nd time.
Safe to say that he does not field his position very well, though. Or doesn't want to.
And now the tying run will come to the plate. Now it's time for the Home Depot getting more done. Hard hit percentage leaders so far this season. And some of the biggest names in the game: Mike Trout, Manny Machado, Jose Abreu of the White Sox, and Paul Goldschmidt of the Cardinals. Hard hit, by the way, it's defined as a ball with an exit velocity of 95 miles per hour or better. Goldie is 0 for 2. And looks at ball 1. Get the feeling this is a very key inning for the Cardinals. Yeah, leadoff man on, and now the pitch count getting up there at 76.
I'm going to say you got the leadoff man, top of the lineup. You're only down by 2. You have to be really patient in the strike zone now. Try to get something going.
2-0.
That's the thing with guys. I feel like this is a perfect example. We talk about how good he is. Does throw a lot of strikes, but he throws a lot of balls. And if you can lay off some of those pitches and take chances there in the right situation, especially the bigger guys, he's throwing you a lot of pitches you can't hit anyway. So you think about the Goldschmidt strikeout with the changeup. The ball's way out of the zone, but if you get a fastball in that area, you have to pull the trigger, and it looks just like a fastball.
That one got Jerry Lane, our home plate umpire.
This one got Jerry Lane really good.
Ouch.
I don't think there's enough pads to protect you on a direct shot like that.
Nope. Alfaro giving him a chance to catch his breath after that foul ball right back at him. And it's a count of 2 balls, 1 strike. Runner at first, Tommy Edman. Knocked down, tough play, and everybody's safe. It was do or die for Chisholm, and no chance. And the Cardinals have something cooking now with 2 on, nobody out. Arenado coming up.
Smart piece of hitting right here. Not trying to do too much. Does get a pitch out over the plate. Just got so much velocity, you can't get underneath it.
Watch this. If it goes through, it would have been
2.
Yeah, probably.
Easy 2. A ball. Watch this ball's right over the bag right here. It's right over the rubber still.
And Nolan Arenado, who picked up the first base hit back in the 4th for the Cardinals, coming up with 2 runners on and nobody out. Pitch count at 78. First start for Alcantara, who is just above 80 pitches. No one up and throwing for the Marlins in their pen. Not sure I blame them.
I think if you're Don Mattingly right now, you really can't get anyone up quick enough to stop them from tying this.
And what's a better option?
And then I was going to say, and what's a better option? So you really, he's out there right now to win or lose this game. And you figure he's either going to give up the lead here or he's going to close out this inning. Then you get your guys up.
So Arenado already 8 at bats with runners in scoring position this young season. And the 1-0 pitch.
Come on.
Nolan didn't like it. And neither did my partner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, the hard part about that is, as a hitter, you're doing so much work to lay off tough pitches, and then you finally do. And you're in the 6th inning, and now he's giving him strikes.
Nolan 1 for 2 tonight. No one there at the bag except Tommy Edman. So good speed at second, Goldschmidt at first, and nobody out. This has been the best threat for the Cardinals all night long. The outfield deep, they're straight away. Inside, 2 balls and a strike. All right, 2-1 with Alcantara. You're Nolan Arenado. What are you thinking here?
This is the issue, right? You don't know what to think. You got to be ready for the fastball, but I believe that if you can pick up spin and you see any kind of spin, you got to stop. And I think you have to look out over the plate to keep you on the off-speed stuff. Can't look inside. It's okay.
2-2.
And that's basically where you have to look against him, right? Because, yeah, the fastball's good, but that's where you want to see the slider and the changeup up there to be able to hit it. So that fastball in that area up there out over the plate, so your best chance to the zone you're looking in, the fastball's probably by you. But if you look inside, all those other secondary pitches are unhittable.
Big pitch right here, the 2-2. Taken low, full count.
That's some big time take right there. He's going to throw it again. I mean, you're not going to give up the lead by serving up a fastball to Arenado right here. You're going to make DeYoung, Carpenter, and Molina beat you versus this one guy. Not shocked if he throws another changeup right here. I'm not really understanding that right now because I think you want to get the hitter.
You bet.
Especially with this guy at the plate.
And they've really shifted now on Arenado. Chisholm, the second baseman on the shortstop side, did not start the at-bat that way. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The next to Nolan Arenado.
Oof.
Well, this is when you love the game of baseball, the game within the game right here. A couple of all-stars and maybe your game on the line. 2-run lead for Miami.
Well, I think this is what makes this game so great right here. It takes you a while to get to it, but if you're guessing along with what's going on, it's anybody's game.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest point of the game for the Marlins. We had this point for the Cardinals, and we got out of it.
The bases are loaded.
And you saw what just happened right there. That is the first changeup he's thrown all night above 91, and he just literally spiked it, knowing the moment was there for him to get after. It's when you can overdo it.
Well, the Marlins had the bases loaded, nobody out. And that was back in the third. They did not score. Mel Stottlemyre Jr. out to visit the pitching coach. And they'll get some activity probably in their pen going right here. Paul DeJong is flied to center and also struck out. Alcantara has struck out 10 on the night.
Like you said, what's your better chance right here?
The guy on the mound. You know, the Cardinals have a total of 4 hits in this game. 3 of the 4 are infield hits. That's how good he's been.
Well, and you know what? After that at bat, to me, I go out there and say, hey, look, you did a nice job against one of the best hitters in the league. You laid off a good changeup, and you tried to make it nastier. Back off a little bit, go out and throw strikes. This guy's not as good as Arenado. He's going to swing at those pitches. But you saw what happened. Took a couple of changeups, right? And what he tried to do, he tried to make a nastier pitch and then bounce it in the dirt. That's what good hitters do. So as a pitching coach, you go back out there and say, hey, look, don't try to be too nasty. Just keep doing what you've been doing.
Paul DeJong with a grand slam last year. They're all loaded up for the Cardinals shortstop and cleanup hitter. 0 for 2 tonight. Pair of infield hits to start the inning, then the walk. First pitch to DeJong. Gets away. Here comes Edman. He will score and the runners advance. It's now a 2-1 game. Tommy Edman scores the first Cardinal run.
Tried to go to the slider right there. And see, that's the difference. Guys can pick up slider better than they can pick up changeup. So you throw a couple changeups that don't work, you go to the slider, now you're kind of playing right into the Cardinals' hands.
Tommy Edman scored the first run of the Cardinals' game 1 win in the first inning, scoring on a pass ball, scores on a pass ball here.
Here it comes, Danny. The big swing.
Ground ball left side. Runners initially stayed put. Now they score. That is Goldschmidt. He scores, and that ties it up at 2.
Wow, what a great play by an aggressively not fast runner. He's taken all the chances in the world right here to tie this game. That overhead was such a great shot. Watch this. He sees the ground ball. He knows he can't go. He really wants to score. There's nothing you can do to get him right there at third, and he just goes for it. And I believe it might be a really close play if he doesn't second guess or second clutch that, double clutch that ball.
What a great play by Goldie.
It's a smart play because the main reason, if we can go back to that overhead, and even if you can't, the third baseman is coming off the line. So you're basically taught as far away as the third baseman is that's as far as you can get down the line. So he kind of cheated with the third baseman. And as soon as he squares his shoulder up to first base, you take off.
Runner at third. Here's Carpenter, and the infield is brought in with a shift on the right side. Carpenter is lined out, grounded out. And if anybody needs something positive to happen in this spot, boy, it's Matt Carpenter. Get that run home.
So look at this right here. So as far away the third baseman is as far as you can get off the third base bag, right? Well, there he starts to slide. Watch what Goldie does. He slides. If he doesn't throw the ball to first base, Goldie just slides back into third, first and third. No big deal.
Well, 2-0 the count. Pitch number 90 upcoming. And the exaggerated shift here for Matt Carpenter.
Might just throw a fastball inside, right in Carp's hands.
3-0.
Do you throw a guy a fastball middle in to a guy who's been trying to pull so much he swung himself into a slump? Bad idea.
Dylan Floro. Right-hander getting loose for Miami, and now they'll intentionally walk Carpenter and set up the potential of a double play. The question will be, do you stick with Alcantara, or do you go to Floro, who does get a lot of ground balls? You're going to stick with him, it looks like.
I don't think you can go wrong with the ground balls, especially with Yadi hitting, but what's your best chance to just get Yadi Molina out?
Let's see if Yadi is going to swing on that first pitch, too. He's so aggressive early in counts. Nobody throwing in the Cardinals bullpen.
His job right now is just to basically get this run in, and the way you have to do that right here is a fly ball. And the best thing he can do is hit a fly ball to right center field. Keeps him on all the pitches. Don't pull off.
And Molina on the first pitch hits a high fly ball to Starling Marte. Plenty deep. Arenado will tag up, and the Cardinals have their first lead of the night. It's 3-2 St. Louis.
That's how you battle. What did I tell you? He's either going to lose this or he's going to get out of it where the don't have to make a move with the pitcher. Maybe a mistake, but if that's your ace, kind of got to leave him out there, don't you?
Yep. And you know, Don Mattingly on record saying too, we're going to go deeper into games with him. Here's Tyler O'Neill, and ball one.
I mean, he hasn't really done anything. 2 singles, a walk. The pass ball hurt you. Just another ground ball out. Next thing you know, you're down 3-2. Sack fly and see you later. Thanks for coming.
O'Neill with a fly ball, right field, and the catch made. The Cardinals started with a couple of infield hits and a walk, and they execute to score 3, and now they have a lead midway through 6. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Cardinals and not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written of the St. Louis Cardinals. Second inning for Ryan Helsley, gave up a run in the 5th. That made it 2-0 Miami. Cardinals have come back with 3. Top half of the 6th, and they lead at 3-2.
You know, I hate to say this because, but is this the 5th, 6th game of the year? 5th game of the year?
This is game number 5.
You have to win this game. It's a big game to win. I think because you started off struggling against their ace. You got through to it, and now you have a lead on the road against a team who's good but not great. And you have that kind of a bullpen. You just have to win this game. You cannot give back up those runs. You want to stay strong. If you want to be a good team and you come back, you cannot go back the other way and give up runs, because then you just have to keep scoring, and we all know that's impossible during the course of the year. So I think this is a good test right here. You got to win this game.
And Rojas sends one into center field. Catch made, Dylan Carlson, and that's the first out.
And also, when you learn that as a player, that is when you start to win.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that changed my mentality when I came to St. Louis was in extra inning games, you're just like, ho hum, this is ridiculous, somebody score. And that's to a fault of young players. To all of a sudden, hey, we got to score and we got to win this game. Because you start to see how many teams at the end of the year are 1 game out, 2 games out, right? Well, where does that game come from? Yeah, why grind it out in September and not grind it out in April? So you grind it out now, and you grind it out in May, and you grind it out in June, and the next thing you know, you are in the playoffs, and you're running away with your division because you have basically won the games that you're supposed to win.
There's John Birdie, the pinch hitter for Alcantara. Birdie started yesterday at second base. Had a couple of strikeouts, a walk, and a run scored. Arenado is near the line. And a curveball in the dirt.
Helsley's mechanics look better. Looks like he's kind of settling in finally. He's not flying all over the place. 2 days ago, that breaking ball would have bounced in the grass. But just all the adrenaline he had going.
The 2-1 pitch. Genesis Cabrera throwing in the Cardinals pen. 1-out walk. Second walk issued by Helsley. Cardinals have issued 5 in the game.
You kind of have to go get him right here, don't you? I mean, you'd only have one lefty coming up.
You got Dickerson.
You wouldn't have him throwing if you weren't going to use him. We have a pitching change. 3-2 Cardinals in the 6th. Lead 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th, and our Chevy call to the bullpen. Genesis Cabrera. And you can see his stats of the 2 games this season. 2 innings pitched with a 9 ERA. Probably pitched a little bit better than that ERA has shown. And he will face Corey Dickerson. We got 1 out and a man on first base. And Corey Dickerson 1 for 2 with a single. Hit by pitch and a run tonight.
So Cabrera into the ball game, and the first pitch with the runner at first is taken for a ball. One-run lead on the road. You don't want to see those walks. They do come back to haunt you sometimes. Cardinals have turned a couple of double plays tonight. That was back in the first, and another one in inning number 2. One ball and 1 strike. John Gant started this game, went 4 innings, 1 run on 4 hits, struck out 4 and walked 3.
Corey Dickerson takes a really long look down at the third base coach, and I'm thinking, definitely not going to hit and run right here, are they? This nasty lefty on the mound.
Not running, and the pitch taken high for a ball.
There's no chance
No.
of them hitting around here. So why the long look? Why even the extra signs? Not fooling anyone.
The 2-1 pitch. Out of play.
Good fastball.
That's one thing you can always count on with Genesis Cabrera. Really good fastball. And sometimes he is unhittable.
Just got to throw strikes with his stuff.
It's even at 2-2. Short lead at first. And a pop up on the outfield grass to Young to make the catch. Cardinals Kids Club presented by Rawlings, the exclusive fan club for kids 13 and under. And membership will include a fleece blanket, wall sign, virtual events featuring special guests, all for just $33. And you can join us at cardinals.com/kids club. Cabrera gets his first man, out number 2. And now Marte. Strike 1. Marte reached on an error by Tyler O'Neill back in the first. That led to a run. He's also singled to left and flied to right. Be a short turnaround for these two teams tomorrow, and I'm sure the players, staff, management, they're excited to get back home.
You have no idea.
I bet.
Well, you do because you've been there, but
you start out on the road, you want to get back home, get settled in.
Imagine going to spring training for 6 weeks.
Yep.
And start off on the road for a week. You have not been home yet. Some of these guys don't even know where they're going to live yet. Staying in a hotel for the first week.
Life of a big leaguer.
So glamorous. It's only glamorous about after year 6. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. And, you know, you get the long-term deal.
Yeah, a little free agency.
That
action.
helps.
Start putting your no trade clause into effect so you can buy a home. Tell you what, being comfortable in your home city when you're not from here is really, really big bonus. Really big bonus, especially if you have a family. Living out of a hotel and out of a small apartment, not having a lot of the things that you're used to having, eating out all the time. It's just not ideal for a big-time athlete.
Well, you told me that spring training after a few days, few weeks, as that puts the tying run now in scoring position, Birdie, you knew you wanted to be in St. Louis.
Yep. Still had no idea where I was going to live, where I was going to stay.
Didn't care,
where I
did
was
you?
going to sleep. Nope. I ended up spending 3 months at the Ritz-Carlton. I just couldn't figure out where I wanted to live. And you know what, to be honest with you, kind of tired. You've been playing day games, so you want to sleep in a little bit. You're not really getting up and looking around too early. You got to be at the ballpark at 2 or 3. You don't have a whole lot of time to go house shopping. Have a little breakfast. It's probably around 11 o'clock by that time. And to be honest with you, the anxiety for me of just being to work on time was enough to just kind of keep my daily routine in short bursts because I never wanted to rush.
Well, now 21 years later.
I'm still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Courtney wanted to go to lunch the other day, and I said, I got to go to work. Let's not go too far away.
Popped up, and the catch made by Carpenter. Sends us to the 7th. 3-2 Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest is brought to you by BJC, the world's best medicine made better. And by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Dylan Floro, new pitcher for Miami. 7th inning. And it's our Chevy call to the pen. This is our Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Be Dylan Carlson, a pinch hitter, and then the top of the Cardinal lineup. Sandy Alcantara was cruising in this game, and then in the 6th, back-to-back infield hits, a walk. Cardinals had the bases loaded, trailing by 2, and they scored 3, and they have a 3-2 lead. And the first pitch to Carlson, a strike. John Nagowski has moved to the on-deck circle. Giovanni Gallegos grabs a baseball in the Cardinal bullpen. With 2 innings last night of scoreless baseball. See, Dylan's getting a little frustrated, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just getting a little deep. He's getting some pitches to hit. He's taking some good swings, and unlike his first go-round at the big league level, it's just nothing's going for him. So he's doing everything right. He's just a little bit deep, a little bit late.
And the 0-2.
Change up.
There's Gallegos getting loose.
I don't know if I've ever seen him really choke up before. You see he's up on the bat just a little bit.
And a strikeout of Dylan Carlson. 0 for 3 tonight. Couple of strikeouts.
He's just late. I don't know if he's late because he's not getting his foot down, he's not getting started, or sometimes what happened to him in the past is where you start to make sure you're going to get a strike before you swing, where you almost have to be swinging when the ball is released and then stop. You can't wait to see if it's a pitch to hit. You have to, everything has to be synced up. Ball is coming too fast for you to make the decision to swing after you see it. I mean, if that makes any sense, because the ball's traveling at 100 miles an hour.
Sure. Intriguing guy here in John Nagowski.
Well, he definitely worked his way to the big leagues.
And it just, you know, if he got a run, you wonder what that might look like if he gave him a week's worth of at-bats, or week and a half, 2 weeks.
Well, he might get it here pretty soon. A couple guys keep struggling.
1 ball, 1 strike. Undoubtedly earning his way onto this team. A couple of home runs this spring. Drove in 12. And batted above 300. I guess you could say he was a late bloomer. 34th round pick by the Oakland A's.
I mean, he's worked his way.
Yeah.
He's only 28. I mean, he can still have a nice 10-year career.
You're not going to see him swing at many pitches out of the zone.
It's amazing. But you know what that is? That's just confidence. You think about when Carpenter was at his best. Took a lot of borderline pitches because he didn't cheat. He wasn't trying to do too much. John is strong enough to put a good swing on the ball and hit the ball in the gap, hit a home run. He's not going to blast balls. He's not going to hit balls in the upper deck, and he's not trying to. He's trying to hit 300, and he'll hit some occasional mistakes for homers. But what he's going to do is give you a great at bat almost every time out there.
He is the rare combination of a first baseman that throws left and bats right. You don't see that very often.
I mean, how many guys out there are there?
Not many.
Only guy I can think about is Ricky Henderson. And it was actually funny to see him throw left-handed after watching him hit all those years.
So he draws a 1-out walk. It'll be interesting if the Cardinals hold on, what kind of lineup they throw out there tomorrow. If you win the series, you got the home opener the next day. It's a getaway day. It's been a long trip, those kind of things.
Yeah, but you're still talking about what? 4 o'clock game? 3 o'clock game? 4 o'clock game in Miami. So you get some rest.
I always like seeing the lineups on Sundays.
Yeah,
Guys that
I
normally don't get to play.
I was always up and down with that because it is early, and I wanted to play every day. But every now and then, I'm okay with like
getting
just
a day,
cruising in. But you know my theory on that, right? Only before a Monday off. I want 2 days. I don't want one. One used to mess me up a little bit.
Shallow left, and the catch made. So Tommy Edman is out number 2. And the batter will be Paul Goldschmidt. Popped out in foul territory, struck out swinging, and reached on an infield hit and scored back in the 6th.
I think that at bat, his at bat, and Arenado's at bat in that inning kind of gave life to the team, because what happened was then you saw DeYoung take a really tough pitch, first pitch, and not just go up there and flail because guys were on base. And you start to realize, hey, I can take a strike or I can take a good pitch to get to another pitch. And I think that's where Alcantara is so good, because you fear the velocity and you start to swing at pitches that are coming in and then running off the plate. And then the next thing you know, 8 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts, 1-2 hits. And about the second or third time around, probably third time around, a couple of the good players go, you know what, I'm not going to swing at balls anymore. I'm going to battle this guy. That's exactly what happened in the 6th inning.
I thought the Arenado at bat was sensational. A 1 pitch, and Goldie lifts a fly ball into center.
Place is huge.
Marte with the catch, and let's stretch. 3-2 St. Louis.
7th in Florida. Harrison Bader is dealing with a forearm issue. Mike Schultz said today that Bader has been transferred to the alternate side. Bader had gotten a PRP injection in late March and is now letting the forearm rest. Schultz did say Bader is able to do lower body work, meaning running and some other things, to stay as sharp as possible. But the forearm issue remains a waiting game. Danny, it looks like it's going to be a while for Harrison Bader.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. Our Chevy called to the pen, and Giovanni Gallegos is into the game. 26 pitches last night. That was more than he threw at any game last year. So we'll see how he bounces back.
That was because last year he was mowing through everyone.
So Gallegos here. Cooper, Duvall, Anderson for Miami. 3-2 Cardinals in the home half of the 7th. Ball game that has seen John Gant go 4 innings. Ryan Helsley inning and a third. Cabrera 2/3 of an inning. And now Giovanni Gallegos. First pitch and a strike.
He said that was down, man. Come on, man. It's the big leagues.
Is this Jim Edmonds next to me or Tim McCarver? 0-2 on Garrett Cooper, who has walked 3 times and scored a run. Relievers are piling up innings in this first week, whether it's with the Cardinals or anybody else you look at in Major League Baseball.
I feel like that always happens, but yet we're always going to make a big deal out of it because it's early in the year.
0-2 hit out of play.
It makes me wonder, why not get your pitchers built up earlier then? If that's the issue, and we're always talking about it, and we've been talking about it, it probably is worse now than ever, because when I was playing, a lot of guys' first starts were 85 pitches into 100 already, right? They were throwing 85 in spring training. And now it's all about like, man, we can't go past 85. We can't. And now the pitch counts are so high all the time and everyone's throwing so hard. Well, let's get guys into camp a little bit earlier and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in the offseason and building up quicker.
Don't you think, though, guys come into camp ready to roll?
Well, and then they should be throwing more pitches than 80.
That's where I'm at.
I mean, I believe in being careful with your pitchers and stuff, but I also believe in looking at the guys like in the old days, like Bob Gibson, where when he's going in the game, he's throwing the game.
A strikeout of Cooper to start the ball game for Gallegos.
I feel like a lot of guys my age pitched that way all the way through high school, minor leagues, and into the big leagues, but not anymore.
No,
not anymore. I mean, we got pitch counts at 12-year-old baseball, rightfully so, but you know,
that's different.
I think, but only because they want to bring them back every day. If you don't do that, you're going to have coaches throwing kids out there all day trying to win. But I just feel like they should be ready to go to 100 pitches by now, and if not, you got to find a way to get yourself there.
Jacob deGrom lifted in the game last night at 77 pitches.
I mean, I understand it. I'm all for protecting the pitchers, but it's like I always say, if you have a problem, fix it. Don't complain about something and yet don't do anything about it. I say that same stuff at home, right? But if you don't want to have a bullpen issue in the first 2 weeks of the stadium, then you got to get your pitchers out there and they got to be ready to go 100 pitches.
Here's Duvall. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. I would say, I guess, and you hit it, but the difference is these guys are throwing so hard now. I mean, everybody coming out of the pen just about is throwing 95 plus. And that wasn't the case 15 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah, but those are the guys that usually have the best arm shape.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are always throwing like that. They've been throwing like that since they were kids.
The 2-0 pitch. And it's
how many
2-1.
How many times have you talked about being in Little League, being just before high school and going out and pitching 5-6 innings and then coming home and playing butt ball against the garage or firing tennis balls for an hour at your friends or playing over the line or whatever, what have you?
Every
they don't
kid
do that
out there
anymore.
right now is going,
they're playing video games.
What are those games?
I told my son he needs to go out and throw and try to hit the little target on the garage door, and he's like, what for? I was like, but that's all I did as a kid. Grew up by myself, only child. I stood out there all day long and threw tennis balls at the door handle. Some of these kids can't throw the ball from second base to first base and hit the first baseman in the chest.
No.
And that's overlooked.
Duvall 1 for 3 on the night and a 2-2 pitch. Got him. Looking for something else. Back-to-back Ks for Gallegos. 7th Marlin to strike out tonight.
Did you say he was looking for something else?
Yeah.
Not the fastball down the middle?
No.
Pretty much right here, isn't it?
You know, when we say guys guess, how many guys are guessing? Is it being done because of the velocity now more than ever, and you got more pitches? I mean, remember split fingers weren't prevalent, that kind of thing.
I think I'm not going to say that they're guessing pitch to pitch as much as looking for a certain pitch against righty, because maybe he's looking for his best pitch, or like I said, you're hoping that he's going to throw you a nasty slider that you don't want to swing at.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of on your heels a little bit. And literally that fastball comes out of the hand and it's halfway there and you might as well just turn around because you're not swinging. And that's what I was saying before. If you want to be a good hitter, you have to think every pitch coming out of the pitcher's hand is going to be a strike. You can't just hope he's going to throw a ball. And I've done it. I'm like, oh man, this guy's nasty. I'm going to try not to swing at a ball here and hopefully he's got me on my heels a little bit. And as long as you can battle, it works sometimes. But, man, sometimes they throw a fastball right down the middle. There's no worse feeling as a hitter.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good hitter. That's Duvall that made no effort at that pitch.
I mean, that wasn't even a, I mean, that's not even a half of a ball off dead center.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brian Anderson at the plate. He has singled and walked tonight. Good pitch by Gallegos. He has been sharp. Back-to-back games now. Cardinals got 5 innings last night out of Daniel Ponce de Leon. Hicks had the 6th. Gallegos had the 7th and the 8th, and then Reyes in the 9th. We'll see how Mike Schilt wants to play it here in game 2. The 1-2.
There's that slider again. It's funny how that's been the pitch that everyone has been struggling with.
First time that Gallegos in his career has thrown consecutive days after throwing 25 or more pitches. And he catches the outside corner. No problem. Strikes out the side. Good ball game tonight. It's 3-2 St. Louis. We head to the 8th. Eighth inning rolls in. And it's a 3-2 St. Louis lead. Nolan Arenado with a key at bat in this game back in the 6th inning. Jimmy, go pitch by pitch.
Well, I think right here the first 2 pitches are pitches of the game to take. Does a really nice job. He's patient. He knows he's been swinging at balls out of the zone. Right now he hasn't really gotten a pitch to hit yet. That is just a great at bat. And to foul this pitch off 99 gets him to this right here. And Alcantara to this point is just like, what am I going to do to get this guy out? I got to be even nastier. And then just fires a 93-mile-an-hour changeup straight in the ground.
Really good at bat. At that time, that then made the bases loaded. And the Cardinals picked up 3 runs. Yimi Garcia, one of the holdovers from their bullpen, only 2 from a year ago, are Chevy called to the pen. Arenado here, then DeYoung and Carpenter. No balls and 2 strikes. Tyler Webb talking with Brian Eversgerd in the Cardinal bullpen. We'll see if they want to go that direction. 1-2 the count. Be Chisholm, Alfaro, Rojas coming up. 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup for Miami. The 1-2. Popped up a mile high in foul territory. Alfaro with the catch, and that's the first out. Cardinals Hall of Fame ballot presented by Edward Jones, live now through April 17th. You can cast your vote and do that at cardinals.com/HOF. Paul DeYoung hitless tonight. Fly to center, struck out swinging and grounded out. Has picked up an RBI. It was the really good base running by Paul Goldschmidt.
Yes, it was amazing base running. And this guy, Yimi, has a Nintendo slider too. Pretty impressive slider so far today. Couple of good ones.
A ball and a strike.
Did you find that Webby thrown in the bullpen right here is intriguing a little bit?
I do.
It's got to tell you that there is a big right-hander down there, might be getting the day off no matter what.
don't think they would want to go with Hicks back-to-back.
That's what I mean.
Now, do you feel comfortable, though, with Reyes back-to-back after 13 pitches last night?
How many other choices do you have?
Budweiser play at the game, and the base running of Paul Goldschmidt down at third and scoring this run.
Base running play of the year right there, of this fine year.
Two and two the count on DeYoung. Miss low. Shift on the left side. One out walk. It's a fourth walk the Cardinals have received. Well, you think about how this game started if you're just joining us, with Sandy Alcantara looking like he was going to shut down the Cardinals tonight, and he did for the better part of the game, and then the sixth inning hit with back-to-back infield hits and a walk to load him up, and the Cardinals made him pay.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I still think that those two at-bats by Goldschmidt and Arenado are lingering right there for DeYoung. He literally just had another great at-bat. He was like, wait a second, I can be more patient. These guys can do it, I can do it. And he just did it. He swung at those pitches earlier in the game. Get excited because the guy is throwing hard. All of a sudden, the guy in front of you takes some really good pitches, and you think to yourself, well, I can do that. Got to be more patient.
Look at all the room on the left side. Third baseman Anderson well off the line. Shift on the right side. Carpenter takes a pitch low. Matt tonight is lined out to left, grounded to second, and was intentionally walked in the sixth inning.
I think when you're a hitter of this caliber, struggling a little bit, you have to ask yourself, at what point do I square around and bunt? You know?
Yeah.
Like, when do I do it?
Well, you'd have to think this is probably the last at bat for Carpenter. And you could move then Tommy Edman to second base and put in a natural outfielder in right. We'll see. Cardinals have used Nagowski and Williams, so they still have Dean to take over in right field. We'll see. Fly ball, foul territory. 2-2. Well, when you have the shift, you don't catch those.
Too far of a run for him. Like, gave up about 3/4 of the way there. Oh man, I don't want to run that far.
Webb just standing on the mound now in the Cardinal bullpen. He's one of those guys that can get loose in a hurry. Sometimes they'll wait till 2 outs. Not everybody's like that.
No.
He's just stretching out there and hasn't even thrown.
Well, he threw a little bit earlier, right?
Yep.
Threw just a couple of pitches a minute ago, and then you're right. Now you just don't need to be super loose. Throw a couple of pitches right at the end and get out there.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Carpenter. And Carpenter yanks it foul.
Think about net. Holy cow.
This will be pitch number 7 coming up in the at bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Arenado popped out to start the inning. DeYoung drew a walk. And Carpenter lifts a fly ball out to deep left field. Near the wall, and it's caught. DeYoung has to retrace his steps back to the bag at first.
Tell you what, I don't know if you can hit a ball better than that if you're Matt Carpenter. This place plays like Yellowstone Park. You know what puts you in a slump more than anything? That right there. That turns into I need to pull the ball to hit a home run. Playing in St. Louis, the ballpark's a little bit bigger in the gaps. You don't hit as many opposite field home runs as the old ballpark. And so now what do? You try to pull. That is a great swing. That is solid contact. As good as you can hit it. And it's just up there in the dead of night. He hasn't hit a ball that good to left center in a long time.
He also lined out to left earlier in the game.
2 good swings. He looked like he was standing up a little taller right there. What are you going to do?
Yep.
And he's saying, what do I have to do?
I mean, there's no doubt. He's a proud guy. He's a 3-time All-Star. He has had great success in this league. It was not a good spring. And I'm sure he's feeling it. How could you not?
Well, inside your head, you start thinking, man, this isn't much fun anymore. Like, I could just walk away from this. Is it going to get any better? Is it going to get any worse? Like, what am I doing? And you're doing everything right, and you still can't get a hit. It's just not going your way. Can't help but have doubts in your head. I've been there. And you really don't want anyone to talk to you at this point either. Like, you don't want to hear good swing.
1 ball, 1 strike on Molina. Marlins with Chisholm, Alfaro, Rojas looking ahead to the 8th. The 1-1. Sandy Alcantara, 6 innings tonight. 3 runs, 4 hits, struck out 10. And matched his career high. Floro a scoreless 7th, and now Garcia. Yadi pulls it for a base hit. 2-hit night for Yadier Molina to go along with an RBI as well.
Just does a good job staying on the ball. Hit the top of it, but it's a slider that's hittable. Just another good at bat by Yadi.
Nobody getting loose for the Marlins in their bullpen, so Garcia now against Tyler O'Neill. 0 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts and a flyout. The first pitch to O'Neill. Strike 1.
I think in this situation, Garcia is going to make Tyler O'Neill hit a slider. If he throws him a fastball for a strike, I think it'll be a mistake.
Fights it off, and a fly ball into shallow right. Cardinals will strand a pair. They have left 7 on. Home half of the 8th coming up. 3-2. Marlins have stranded 9. Cardinals 7. And Webb will be the pitcher for St. Louis. A couple of key spots in the game have been with the bases loaded, as they always are. Marlins had the bases loaded, nobody out, did not score. John Gant was on the ropes, got out of it. Cardinals were down by 2, got the bases loaded, and scored 3. That's a difference in your game.
Yeah. You go home if you're Don Mattingly and you try to figure out how you try to get 1 run out of those bases loaded situations. And normally when you don't score like that, you end up losing the game by a run or 2. You almost think to yourself as a manager, man, those runs are just sitting at third with less than 2 outs. Someone's got to put the ball in play.
There's Chisholm, 3-batter minimum. So as much as you maybe in the past would have a matchup like this and then go back to your bullpen, it's a 3-batter minimum. And Alex Reyes has just grabbed a baseball to start throwing in the Cardinal pen. Thought maybe we'd see a double switch of Carpenter out of the game, but that's not the case. He's still at second base.
Waiting for 1 more inning, maybe. I don't know why. Maybe he was too far down the line. I love when you start to look at the scorecard and there's so many pinch hitters and movement. You're like, who's still in the game?
Yep.
You're just seeing pinch hitter for pitcher for pinch hitter for pitcher.
Hit the other way, and that's how you beat the shift, and he's got great speed. Flying towards second base in the tying run in scoring position. That's how you beat the shift. How about that?
I just don't understand the shift against this kid hitting right here. He is not pulling the ball every time he's up there. I mean, you can see it right there. He's tied up.
Think about how far you're playing off the line and back and the potential of a bunt, too.
You're just giving him first base right there. You're right. With the bunt, like, why doesn't he bunt? That run is so important.
Alfaro has an infield hit. He is 1 for 3. He is struck out tonight. Runner at second. That is the tying run. Alfaro is trying to put the Marlins on top.
Crazy thing with his speed, even if he does bunt for a base hit, he might get a double out of that too. You do not want to give up a leadoff double.
Inside. One ball, 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the 8th. 3-2 St. Louis. Took some off it.
Good change up right there.
You have Rojas on deck and then pinch hitter. That might be Alex Reyes time by that point. We'll see. And a swing and a miss. Elevated with that pitch and a strikeout.
It's a great job right there by Yachty and Tyler Webb. He got him with that changeup down and in. He's thinking about it now. So what do? You go up the ladder with a fastball. It's a 4-seamer, so it looks nice and good and flat. Too good to lay off of. Now you got to watch out for the stolen base. If you're Tyler Webb, you do not want to let him walk to third base right here by losing concentration of him out there at second base.
Rojas grounded into a double play, singled, stole a base in the fourth, and flied to center field. And Webb thinking the same thing you are.
Alan, I think they got a little mixed up right there as Yachty didn't look too happy.
Lewis Brenson has moved to the on-deck circle. Is this about alignment here?
Yeah, I think that there was. I think that the sign was missed by Webby right there, and Yachty wasn't too happy about it. But I think now they're talking about what if this happens? Who's going to cover the bag? Who's going to keep him close to second?
Yeah.
And also that's coming from how are we going to pitch him?
Yeah. So one out and a runner at second. Alex Reyes throwing in the Cardinal pen. And first pitch swinging. The fly ball into center. And the catch made by Carlson. And a key second out. Now, if you're Mike Schilt, do you go get Alex Reyes here?
I don't know. I mean, you're going to see some splits.
You do have Brenson here or Aguilar. And then the top of the lineup with a lefty and Dickerson. So Aguilar has been announced. And Mike Schilt will have a double switch. So Tommy Edman will come in at second base. We'll see who goes to the outfield for the Cardinals and takes over in right. That would have to be Dean. Cardinals have already used Justin Williams and Nagowski, so Dean will go to right field, and a new pitcher coming on in Alex Reyes. Part of our Dobbs substitution around the horn defensively. And Tommy at second. Now Austin Dean is in right. And the new pitcher, Alex Reyes, for the Cardinals. Well, Alex Reyes got a save yesterday. 13 pitches. Faced Anderson, Rojas, and Alfaro along with Birdie. And that finished up the game last night.
It's be interesting to see how they pitch him right here, because the old school of thought is do not give him anything to pull. But I think this is the guy you have to challenge inside in order to get him out. Like so. I don't think you want to leave the ball out over the plate here to let him get his hands extended. He's too big and too strong. But then you think about there's nothing going out of this ballpark the other way so far today and yesterday.
So Chevy called to the pen. Aguilar started for the Marlins in game one of this series. Last night was 1 for 4 with a base hit to right. It's got tremendous power, so you got to be careful.
You don't want to hang him anything. It's what you call a cripple hitter. 2-0 fastballs, hanging breaking balls, changeups. I think that's where you want to pitch him. To be honest with you, I think you don't want this guy to beat you.
Yeah, 2 balls and no strikes. Line last night, picking up the save for Reyes. Aguilar at the plate. 3-0. Corey Dickerson is on deck. Runner at second is Jazz Chisholm.
I think you might see another slider right here. But like I said, have to be careful. You cannot leave a slider up to this guy.
And a fastball misses in. Saw a shot of Anthony Bass. He is right now probably penciled in as the closer for Miami. So Aguilar draws the walk, and they'll have a pinch runner here.
Pinch running a pitcher here? Aren't you low on
no, Magneuris
I was gonna say,
Sierra.
aren't you low on players though?
Well, they are down to Brinson and Wallach now on their bench. Dickerson, run scored tonight, and he is 1 for 3. Runners at first and second. Hits a fly ball left center, and Dylan Carlson is there to make the catch. Reyes gets the final out in the 8th. It's a 1-run game. 9th inning rolls in when we come back. Summary: the Cardinals with a 1-run lead heading into the 9th inning. John Gant, the starter, going 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 walks, struck out 4. Yadier Molina, 2 hits, also has a run batted in. Alcantara struck out 10 for Miami, and Chisholm is 1 for 3 with a sac fly, a double, but was left stranded last inning. Well, we started our telecast, Jimmy. You talked about having patience against a guy like Alcantara, and just in general, and we've seen that for the most part.
Yeah, they went back and forth a little bit. I think the majority of the pitches seen were kind of in the end of the second time around, the third time around, but they did a nice job. I mean, you're talking about one of the best pitchers in this league with nasty stuff. He still threw 93 pitches, but he only gave up, I think, 4 hits and only 1 walk. So both sides doing a great job, and that's why we have a 1-run ball game here in the 9th.
Richard Blyer, lefty, is in to turn around Dylan Carlson. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carlson is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and grounded out to third. One and 2 the count. Ooh, just missed. Magneuris Sierra, by the way, stays in the game. He's in the outfield and left. It'll be Marte, Cooper, and Duvall for Miami in the bottom of the 9th. 2-2. Popped foul and out of play.
Just a little hippie right there, don't you think? Just flying just
Kinda
a little bit. It's like he's
normally he's so quiet.
It's that that lead hip, just if it just spins a little bit, you can see that he doesn't realize, or he's not seeing the ball, or doesn't want to stay on it as long as possible and just trying to clear those hands out so he can do that.
How about that? Stayed in just enough, didn't he? Goodbye. It's a home run. Dylan Carlson, his second of 2021. Gets out in a hurry, and then some insurance late here for the Cardinals.
And what we were talking about is when you cheat just a tiny bit, you're going to leave yourself vulnerable to everything middle away and anything hard. The pitches that you can hit are the hanging sliders. Paul DeYoung did that the other day. Had a conversation about it. He got a little quick with his hips, and then the slider hung. And then the next thing you know, he's a little bit more locked in. Hopefully that does the same thing for Dylan Carlson.
It's a 4-2 St. Louis lead.
To be honest with you, if you think about it, Danny, it's kind of bad pitching and defense right there. Bad catching and pitching. If you can't see that he's pulling off a little bit, you don't want to throw him anything up and soft where you're kind of just running him in. You know, you're running into his bat. If you throw something hard and down and away and he pulls off a little bit, you're going to get that right there. And so good job by Dylan making a little bit of an adjustment, but thank you so much for the breaking ball middle in.
So Dean grounds out back to the top of the Cardinal lineup. There's Tommy Edman, reached on an error back in the first, struck out looking, and got the rally started for the Cardinals when they were down 2-0 in the sixth with an infield hit, and scored the first run for the Cardinals on a pass ball. The 2-1. 2-2.
Just going back to that Carlson home run, I'm thinking that's how important it is to pay attention pitch by pitch as a pitcher and a catcher. And sometimes it's hard as a catcher, the guy's on top of you, but you got to see what you're working with, right? You guys pulling off, you cannot give him something to pull. You're just feeding right into what he's thinking. Takes a weak swing on a fastball away, and you just spin him a slider.
Zach Pop is throwing now in the Marlins bullpen.
And that is why Yachty is so good at his job, because he sees that and he understands what's going on.
Out in front again and fouled back.
Just keeps making that mistake with that slider. I'd be surprised if it gets him in trouble again.
On the ground, left side.
Jeez, what an arm. Third baseman Anderson has got a cannon. I like him. I like watching him. Got a big body, stays under control, great defense. That arm is a rocket.
Pulled foul by Paul Goldschmidt. He is popped out, struck out. Infield hit back in the sixth. Run scored. And fly to center. Missed outside, 1-2. So again in the bottom of the ninth for Alex Reyes, it'll be Marte, Cooper, and Duvall. The insurance added by Dylan Carlson with his second home run this year. Out of play.
To me, or did that look like that ball that Carlson hit should have gone a lot further? Is that park that big?
It's not, but I think he got it, but not quite. Yeah, not quite what you normally would see. Next tap foul again. It's big though. Don't get me wrong.
It's really big. What we got down there for temperature? We got about 70, 71 degrees. I saw at the beginning of the game. A little humidity, not bad.
The ball that Carpenter hit actually went further than what the home run was measured at.
We got the fans blowing in from left. It's the opposite of Milwaukee. When you open up those windows, the wind blows in. In Milwaukee, it sucks it straight out.
Ball flies there.
Oh my. When you open those panels in left field in Milwaukee, look out.
Yeah.
You better get the ball down.
Another 1-2 pitch. Goldie just hanging in there. Next pitch, number 9 of the plate appearance here for the Cardinal first baseman. And we'll have a 10.
Look out.
He's going to hit something really hard. Might be a loud out.
I hope so.
Might be a home run.
You're going to have to hit it really hard if you want to.
He's not going to swing and miss. We got to go on a limb here, Jimmy.
I'm letting you do it, especially with this changeup. Is he going to stay back? Look at that big old palm.
And we'll have pitch number 11 coming up. Here's a 1-2.
Wow. That's hard to do, by the way. Really hard to do.
Eleven pitches. 9 foul balls hit by Paul Goldschmidt. Pitch number 12 of the at bat. Oh, he got him. Some frustration. You don't see that very often from Paul Goldschmidt. The home run hit by Dylan Carlson. And a 4-2 St. Louis lead. 11 in this game. And they trail now 4-2 going into the bottom of the ninth. Alex Reyes got the final out in the 8th inning. Got Dickerson to fly to left center. 2-run lead. Marte, Cooper, Duvall, and the final hope for Miami. Starling Marte reached on an error by Tyler O'Neill back in the first. That led to a run. Single to left, fly to right, and popped out. Reyes is the 6th pitcher used by the Cardinals tonight. Gant went 4. Helsley inning and a third. Cabrera 2/3 of an inning. Gallego struck out the side in the 7th. Webb 2/3 of an inning. And now Alex Reyes trying to finish it off.
Mike is getting his money's worth out of his bullpen today, isn't he?
So far this year.
That's true.
And the 1-1. Shallow center, but going out to make the catch, Tommy Edman. Cooper has walked 3 times, scored a run, and struck out looking in the 7th.
Oh, good slider.
Well, at least initially, Alex Reyes is the current closer of the Cardinals. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I do wonder if you had a save opportunity, would you go to Jordan Hicks this early in the season?
Yes.
He's had now 2 times out, looked good.
Yes, I would, especially tomorrow. Tomorrow's your day right there.
Reyes would be
Reyes
hands
back
off.
to back, right? Yep. He's not pitching tomorrow. I mean, that's your best case scenario with both of these guys, right? Both have been injury prone. Both have been hurt. Both are closers, basically, no doubt. And so anytime you have to stretch one, you always have the other.
Two and two. How cautious, though, do you want to be with Hicks?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you can be as cautious as you want, but like I said, he was throwing 100 miles an hour last October. He was fully healed as far as what my eyeballs saw from watching him on social media. Now, if he's laboring and playing catch and hitting 91, I'm thinking, okay, he was building his way back, spring training, I'm going to be cautious. I don't think that. I mean, I think he's raring to go. I mean, obviously he's not pitched last winter, but when I see a guy throwing that hard after Tommy John surgery, and he was doing that before our season was over, I mean, I literally thought he could have pitched in the playoffs just from watching. I don't know enough about it, but I'm thinking he's ready to go.
3-2 on the ground. DeYoung, 2 away. Cardinals are 1 out away from winning the series and then setting up the potential sweep tomorrow. Adam Duvall at the plate. Grounded into a double play, 2 strikeouts and a single to left.
I'd like to have that pitch. It's been a strike all day. That one too. Don't wait till the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. Tighten up the zone.
Got to figure too that Gallegos unavailable tomorrow. Reyes would be unavailable, so that would at least you're leaning towards the idea of maybe Hicks. I'm with you.
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that that's your guy tomorrow, unless you hear something different from the manager.
The 2-1 pitch. 2-2. And the Cardinals now a strike away from taking game 2 of the series. There's 13 pitches last night and 20 pitches so far for Alex Reyes. The 2-2. He got him. The Cardinals come back and win it. A final of 4-2. And they've taken the first two in this series against the Marlins.
It's a pretty nice job by the Cardinals right there. They don't score a run until the 6th inning, and then they get 3. And the bullpen comes in and does a nice job again. But I think this is a good team win right here. Like I said earlier in the day, that's a game you have to win. You really want to win on the road, especially early in this season. All these wins count towards the end of the year.
Post-game show comes your way next. The Cardinals win it by the final of 4-2. And Game 3 tomorrow right here on Bally Sports.